it's definitely going to be more because these are the stats based on those who got tested. Now, I believe that HIV has had what I might call the world's greatest publicity. My goodness, the awareness around HIV is second to none. And now we know a lot about it. We know it's not a death sentence. We know that you can live a happy, healthy, and normal life. We know that it's important that you check your status, right? HIV is now it's now a part of humanity. I mean, just think about it. If you want to get married, one of the many things that you look out for, regardless of your religion, is as partners you go and check your status before getting married. It's now a regular part of our consciousness. And so, here's another reminder. 1, know your status. 2, practice safe sex. I would advocate no sex at all if you are not married. 3, don't share needles or sharp objects. Educate yourself. Regular health checks. And the most important, avoid stigma and discrimination. Now there is help. It's not a death sentence. And the popular slogan, HIV no dey show for face. Yeah, that too. So I guess I should say happy World AIDS Day. Yes, indeed. That's very much in order. We go from that to not so wonderful news, the kind we're used to, but we're sick and tired of. A bride-to-be and her husband, I beg your pardon, and her bridesmaid are among 10 people abducted after suspected terrorists attacked Chacho village in Warno local government area of Sokoto early on Sunday morning. Residents say the gunmen stormed the community around 1:30 a.m., taking mostly women, including the bride who was preparing for her wedding later that day. One person was injured in the attack and is receiving treatment, while villagers say security operatives arrived about an hour after the abductors had escaped. Police spokesman DSP Ahmed Rufai confirmed the incident, saying preliminary reports have been received and investigations are ongoing. Well, another group of gunmen attacked a church in Kogi State on Sunday, kidnapping a pastor, his wife, and several worshippers during Sunday service. The attack on the newly established Cherubim and Seraphim Church in Ejigba, Yagba, West Local Government area occurred during Sunday service. The community was said to have been thrown into chaos after armed bandits launched an attack during the church service. Meanwhile, the Kogi State government says it has intensified surveillance and manhunt against the terrorists that attacked the church. Okay, well, at this point, maybe headlines about abductions, bandits, and those kind of things are not exactly shocking. Maybe you are numb to it, and it's not because you're heartless or insensitive, but human beings are dynamic. That means that we easily adapt. And when you've been exposed to something for extended periods, the next thing your body does is that it gets used to it. And unfortunately, even though it's not a good thing, we kind of are getting used to reports of abductions. As a matter of fact, the average Nigerian knows the definition of a bandit. The frequency is also disturbing because now abductions, kidnappings, and all the waves of terrorism that we see in the news does not happen weekly anymore. It's now daily. I cited this last week, and that has become our new reality. Now, every day, we have headlines of kidnappings. Yesterday, Sunday, was 2. One in Kogi and one in Sokoto. A bride-to-be getting ready for her big day. All the plans, the dreams, the fantasies, mixed with what should be her reality, thwarted because some bandits had other plans. And it continues to stir conversation and reactions. You're going to blame government, blame state government, federal government. Where was the police? Where are the soldiers? I'm tired of Nigeria. All of the complaints are valid. But it doesn't seem like anything is changing. And so I think that it might be time, not even might be time. I'm sure people have been holding that conversation for way longer. But the conversation around declaring a state of emergency in some of these states, I think more voices need to join that advocacy. It's no longer funny. The northern part of this country is not safe. That is not breaking news. but it's so not safe that it doesn't seem it's going to get safe anytime soon. And I'm not saying this because Rivers State got her share of state of emergency just a couple of months ago. No. If you say it from Rivers State, it will seem like, oh, because then given and made them give us. That's not even the case. But you kind of have to think about it. Some of these states have gotten to the point where there is need for an emergency rule, for actual causes that connect to security. So I'm hoping that this problem can be solved sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, the desperate measures required to keep Nigerians safe should be deployed. Nobody deserves to be kidnapped, but I'm just thinking about what is going through the mind of the lady who was kidnapped, who is supposed to get married, and her family members. Now she's in a kidnapper's den. Maybe the abductors have reached out to family to demand ransom. Maybe. Well, a public affairs analyst, Kennedy Allen Nwokoma, has criticized the Senate over its plan to introduce death penalty for kidnappers. Speaking with our correspondent, Toyinka Chiwosu, Dr. Allen Nwokoma wants lawmakers to instead emulate China, where the harshest punishments target corrupt government officials, not kidnappers. Okay, let's hear from the analyst.
Make laws that deal with cases of official corruption, where monies are budgeted for certain projects and persons who occupy public offices appropriate this money for themselves. In China, if you are convicted for any case of abuse of office or official corruption, you face death. So rather than chasing rats, let us chase the elephant. Chasing rats in the sense that if you want to impose death sentence on kidnappers, this one is rat. These ones are already facing death sentence imposed by authority. Then let us chase the elephant.
Well, he argues that introducing the death sentence will not solve the issue, which he insists is hunger. All right. Well, we go from that to another controversial issue that everyone seems to have an opinion on. Opposition party, People's Democratic Party, PDP, is taking aim at President Bola Tinubu's ambassadorial nomination list, calling it scandalous and a clear reflection of President Tinubu's view of the country. In a statement, PDP spokesperson Ini Ememobong accused the president of putting forward individuals of questionable character to represent Nigerians abroad and questioned the inclusion of former INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu, saying it looks like a reward that could set a bad precedent. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, on the other hand, is also unimpressed with its spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi dismissing the nominations as job for the boys, saying the list shows the government is not taking diplomacy seriously. It's important to note that the ambassadorial list has former presidential aide Reno Omokri, ex-minister Femi Fani-Kayode, former chairman of INEC Professor Mahmood Yakubu, former governor of Abia State Okezie Ikpeazu, and former governor of Enugu Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi on the ambassadorial list. Well, former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Joe Keshi, criticized the list, saying it is dominated by non-career diplomats in a way he finds worrying. Speaking on Channels Television, Keshi says he's not against appointing non-career ambassadors, but warns that the imbalance sidelines the trained experts with the Foreign Service. Keshi appealed to President Tinubu to include more Foreign Service professionals in the next batch of nominations, noting that they are well-trained and better prepared to represent Nigeria abroad.
Nobody is against the appointment of non-career ambassadors. But the truth of the matter is that the bulk of the people on the non-career list, it's a bit disturbing. And the second point I made was to appeal to the president. I hear there's another list that will come out. I don't know if it's true. I beg the president, for goodness sake, for the sake of the officers in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today, to please ensure that the next list contains no other names but the people from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Well, the Senior Special Assistant on Foreign Affairs Protocol to the Presidency, Ademola Oshodi, says the president has the right to appoint anyone he chooses, adding that there are more important national issues than debating the ambassadorial list.
The president has the prerogative to hire whoever he wants based on his own interest and his own relationship with those individuals. So this is, it's basically his prerogative. We can question whoever, however.
Former Special Advisor on Political Matters to President Bola Tinubu, Hakim Baba Ahmed, is calling on the National Assembly to carefully review the latest ambassadorial nominees. Okay, and lots of people have spoken. I'm certain that when I open the phone lines, there'll be more reactions to that list. I agree with the Senior Special Assistant on Foreign Affairs Protocol to the President that the President has the right to appoint anyone he chooses. Very true. Nominate, rather. Very true. However, there are certain positions that should not be left to the mercy of politics. A diplomat, an ambassador. Yes, almost anybody can be appointed, but not anybody can do the job well. And there are those who are trained. Again, like the other respondent said, you have a few spots for non-career people. Some positions might be given based on familiarity, a power sharing formula, a reward system. You have that. And in places where people have previously shown competence, they might be able to deliver. But you see, Nigeria has not had an ambassador to any country for over 2 years. And right now, our international relations are suffering terrible damage. Allegations of Christian genocide, whether it's true or it's false, this is not the time to play with the image of the country. There are people who are well versed in the business of diplomacy. There are people who understand international relations. There are people who have been trained. Again, nobody's going to beat the president. Don't get me wrong. He's not wrong constitutionally. But for some certain things, it's important that you don't let politics be the motivation or the driver. And that's where the reactions stem from. So I'm hoping, as we are all hoping, that the next list has career ambassador nominees. Those that you, me, the devil, angels, PDP, APC, man, woman, tall, short, light skin, dark skin will say, oh yes, this person understands the business of the office and they will represent Nigeria well in whatever country they are posted to. Yes, indeed. The next headline puts the police in a good light. We'll take it shortly, but between now and then, I'd like to take your thoughts. It's World AIDS Day today, and we've heard that over 234,000 people are living with HIV in Rivers State. There have been fresh waves of kidnappings in Sokoto and Kogi, and reactions have trailed the president's ambassadorial list. The numbers are called 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. As always, please turn off your radio as you call. And I'm certain that you have what it takes to say all you can in 60 seconds. I'll be speaking to Emeka shortly. Good afternoon, Sam Oracle. The rate of kidnapping in Nigeria is out of hand. If the present administration led by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu cannot fight it, for me, they should better quit. Why are they joking with the lives of Nigerians? I'm so much pained as a Nigerian. Odimegu, Sonny, Didia from Umerilu. Emeka from Owerri is on the phone. Good afternoon, Emeka.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon.
Oracle, the so-called ambassador, the appointment of the last chairman has shown and has affirmed in our allegations over the 2023 election. Oracle, if you remember, it was a weekend. Played a role, a very good role for the president, for the president, not for Nigerians in different states. You know that the ministers are taking a decision. All ministers are the same, but do you know that if you see the way the president has handled people, they handle him in a special way, special minister than every other minister. He's taking now, he waited to now, the way of the whole plan is maybe to this an ambassador. Maybe that was one of their discussions prior to the 2023 election. Now, somebody like Mefele, who supported the president ambition to become the capital of this country, still is following the president. This is the kind of politics you are doing. Look at all the nominees, politicians throughout. Who is the career ambassador among them? How many of them?
According to supposed to be another list. So we watch and we wait. More importantly, we hope. Jude calls from Omuma. Hello.
Sam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to talk on the ambassadorial list
Okay.
that has just been released. Yeah, someone told us, which is true, that the president has a right of choice to choose whosoever he put from